Hey guys, it's Matt. Welcome back to Fake World Studies. Fake World Studies, a correspondence course I'm trying to get accredited throughout the Big Ten Conference. Yesterday's video was on Jeopardy, focusing on the Sesame Street sponsored numbers 9 and 11 with no sponsored letters. And of course, the first pizza oven video that pops up and it shows me today, we built a wood-fired pizza oven 11 days in 33 minutes. These videos are being shown to me because I have a YouTube channel where I build stoves and we look at different stove configurations. And I've been interested in these pizza ovens, mostly trying to construct an easier way. You don't have to be some world-class expert and make some gigantic, expensive dome. There are easier ways. Man, we don't care about the details of a pizza oven. Sorry. I'm trying to do it in a much simpler way. But of course, this is shown to me. We built a pizza oven 11 days in 33 minutes. Fake world! I watched a few videos this morning on the very important and reciteer mission. I figured, most of their faked images would be submitted to the press by now, so I just wanted to see what they're trying to pass off. I think this is this Reed wise man. This is how they present in space the right eye symbolism. Of course, this is Reed Wiseman taking one of these famous lunar images with his camera out the window. Well, of course, he's looking through the aperture, whatever that is, with the right eye. This is how they present the right eye symbolism. If everybody's just floating around up there with a green screen just covering their right eye, even that would give it away to the dumbest of the dumb. This is how they present the right eye symbolism in space. Now, this video popped up before me this morning, and unfortunately, I watched it. It says Starliner mission was stuck in space for 286 days. Fox News is talking to this so-called expert because he was in space. He's not on Artemis now. They're not back yet. Our friends are not back yet, I don't think. I need to find that little moving ball on the CNN homepage. I don't think they returned yet, but this Starliner mission, this guy was stuck in space. Oh, sure. For 286 days. He's now. Let me show you. Let me just give you a brief snippet or glimpse into the idiocracy that I just heard.
And you can see one on your screen, and let's keep it up. The pictures and the videos that Artemis 2 and the crew are sending back are obviously out of this world. They are beautiful. And I read last night they are being taken with an iPhone 17 Max. When you went to space last year, were you allowed to take your phone?
Well, these are special phones that were distributed or given to them. We did have iPads, and some of the most spectacular pictures that you could take right outside the window was with the iPad. So it's got a great capability. And it's small. The lens is small, so it fits well in the small window you see there on the spacecraft. And to get those magnificent pictures, they're doing a great job. But think about it, Peter. This is only the 10th mission that we've gone out of low Earth orbit to the vicinity of the moon. And as they get closer and closer, that moon's getting larger and larger in the window, 27,000 miles away right now. It just has to be spectacular. And thankfully, they're getting some pictures to share it all with all of us.
Sorry, guys, I hadn't yet checked on Duluth and Dubuque when I started recording. Apparently that they're presenting some unexpected, but to most people, good fake news. It says here, fragile ceasefire takes effect as U.S. and Iran prepare for talks. Oil prices plunge, the markets rally. Iran says it will coordinate the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Oh, thank God. The U.S. had no ability to open a strait up on its own with 5 carrier groups, over 1,000 planes. It had no ability. It was completely handcuffed by Iran's controlling the Strait of Hormuz. But Iran says it will coordinate reopening the strait, while both sides claim the deal as a victory. Oh man, I tell you what, I'm gonna shut this video down right now and just go skipping up the street. Guys, the pictures of what Artemis is supposedly taking, I watched 3 or 4 videos presenting the best pictures thus far. Of course, all the fanboys were very excited, and it's historic and monumental, and what I guess the AI just can't wait to call it iconic. It was very unimpressive. Of course, every single set of pictures stresses different versions of the Eclipse, There's an Earth eclipse and a moon eclipses the sun. The not just can't help itself. It is in love with its eclipse. I don't know what sort of weird, sick power it draws from that. But so we have at least 2 different versions, if not 3, of some sort of eclipse. The moon eclipsing the sun, the Earth eclipsing the sun from the Artemis's perspective. It's in love with this sort of bullshit, probably as a truth drop, or, well, the eclipse means something much more to not know, but it's also a mockery. It's probably, if you were to do the math on it, 1 in hundreds of billions if there was a real mission that you could get an exact eclipse photo. So it's the mockery. It gives away that it couldn't possibly be real, legitimate, or reciteer. They always have 2 or 3 or 4 things they accomplish in all the bullshit that they try to pass off. They don't try to pass it off. They don't pass it off to us, but to the people, they always pass it off. Everybody, even the people that doubted what happened with a buzzed cauldron, and people that doubted the late 60s and those missions, I bet these people believe in this. That one could be completely cake in a lake. Now, we had to beat the Russians. It was a Cold War. Don't you know that? Oh my God! But this one they'll believe in. I mean the images are lame. Literally any 5th grader on some sort of AI program could do much better with the images. They're giving the people only as much as they need to. I assure you, with all the technology and the AI, they're holding back all the 4K, all the incredible images. They're only going to leak out or drip out enough, just enough of what they can need to get away with. If they're fooling the public, the Whopper computer will report back that people are buying it, so they'll withhold their very best stuff because these fake missions have to continue, I guess. What are they going to do? Wait another 50 years? Maybe. Are the people that gone where they would believe it would be another 50-some-year period between moon missions? The people potentially are that gone, and the Not Milk knows it. Heck, I'm glad I just remembered. I almost forgot to make fun of this. What I put in the video a few minutes back about they're taking the pictures with the iPhone. He said they're taking the pictures with the iPhone 17. Is it sponsored by Apple? Is Apple sending money over to NASA? They love the 17 too, guys. It's not the 33, but iPhone 17 Max. Many of the pictures, it's sponsored, I guess, by Apple. And then this guy that was stuck in space. I don't know his name. He says Starliner mission was stuck in space for 286 days. He said, we took pictures on an iPad. They give him, they don't got no NASA cameras. Why are they taking them from inside behind the glass? You could talk to a professional photographer today. They'll say, we go out into the nature to take the real pictures. We don't take them behind glass, riding around in Jurassic Park Jeeps. We go out and take direct pictures of the dinosaurs. Why don't they got the damn cameras on the outside? Why you got to take it behind glass so that you could see the guy behind you squatting down on a broken toilet? I had forgotten about that for a day. The broken toilet. Of course, it's 100% symbolism. First off, there's nothing even out there. Of course, they were completely Capricorn 1'd as a verb. Just the way they did the symbolism of the toilet paper during See the V. We'll talk about that part 2 at freevoice.io. We have a whole nother 30 or 40 minutes because there's no way I could get all of the sinister lists and all the nutty things that happened during 2020 and 2021 into one video. So we'll do it one more time on Sunday. The toilet paper, people checking out, trying to check out over 1,000 rolls of toilet paper from Costco. This broken toilet, of course, on Artemis, it's hard to talk about because there's nothing there. There's nothing up there. They were at the very minimum Capricorn 1'd, and the hatch opened and they were sent off, at least for a short period of time, to David Bowie Island. But the broken toilet, I mean, of course, it's symbolism. But let's look at top stories. It says top CTV News top stories. Broken toilet, no showers and farts. Here is everything the Artemis 2 crew is dealing with. And farts, we'll get back to that. Oh my God! Who just let one loose? Who ripped one? We got no ventilation system in here. You brought a burrito up here? What the fuck? Sorry. Gazeta Express off to the right. Space crisis. Artemis 2 toilet. breaks, overflowing like the Delta House and Animal House, leaving astronauts with no options. There's an option. Turn around and come home. You don't got to go to the moon with no functioning toilet. No one would expect that of you. Bottom right, CNN. More than halfway to the moon, the Artemis 2 astronauts grappled with, it says, broken toilet. And every fall, toilet paper in the trees. You're talking about Delta House, sir. Of course I'm talking about Delta, you twerp. Matt, when's the mission conclude? When's it over? Is it going to be a ticker tape parade? I want to go. Settle down. We'll get to that. Hey, thanks, AI Overview. The Artemis 2 Orion spacecraft is scheduled to return to Earth Friday, April 10, 2026. Why has it got to put the year in there? Nobody thinks this is a 20-year mission to Alpha Centauri where the event horizon went. Of course it's 2026. AI Overview, that's superfluous. With a planned splashdown in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of San Diego, California. Wait a second. Gus Grissom, or where these old astronauts came down, it was always like off the coast of Sri Lanka or below the Philippines, where nothing could be verified, nothing could be seen. If you could splash them down off the coast of Los Angeles and San Diego, why didn't you just do that in the 60s? Could pop the hatch and surf their way into the beaches. This is interesting. 5:07 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Maybe you should take your speedboats and your San Diego Go Fast boats out there and see what you can see. But you know what? There's no point in that. They could put the damn capsule in a C-130 transport plane, take it up to about 60,000 feet above the clouds, and just push it out the back. People will think it's coming down from space. It'll just be kicked out the back of a C-130 transport. So there's no point in taking your Go Fast boats, your speedboats out there, although they're splashing it down during the day. But what does that mean? You know, what does that mean? Again, it's probably hovering up there right now, suspended from a hot air balloon. The crew will conclude a 10-day mission, including a lunar flyby. Yeah, Pootie Tang Award. We've seen your fake news about all this. Matt, is there going to be a ticker tape parade for the Artemis astronauts when they return to Earth, the way America used to celebrate its heroes from the last century and millennium? No. I did hear something about a celebration in the Mall of Americas, though, where they'll be pulled by donkeys, jackasses, mules, and burros via little carts through the Mall of Americas. And if you're on the upper tiers of the Mall of Americas, you could throw your hot dog wrappers down in your water ice cartons and the plates from your pizza slices. You can throw them down on the Artemis astronauts. It's going to be a simulated ticker tape parade, but in Minnesota's degenerate Mall of Americas. Oh, God, look at this. The same scripts and themes from the last century and millennium before they moved reality off to the side. Artemis 2 live updates. Trump calls NASA astronauts after historic, I'm sure it says, flyby. Trump places a phone call, just like President Nixon called Apollo 11 and talked to a buzzed cauldron and Neil Armstrong, and President Nixon said, "We can't tell you how proud of the American people." That's not too good. So Trump has to place a phone call. Well, Matt, what do you want him to do? They can only cake and lake it in so many different ways. I don't know. Bring Booker Elementary School back into it, the star of 9 You Know What in 2001, where George Bush was sitting there reading. Was he reading I Pet Goat 2? Whatever. Remember? Get ready, class, get ready. Say it the long way. Plane, plane, steel, steel. Do the same thing from Booker Elementary. Class, get ready to call Artemis 2. Fake, fake. I don't know. Just do something a little bit different. Why does it have to be the same? Trump calls Artemis 2 on the phone, just like President Nixon. I don't know. Do something different. Have a little imagination, your fake schemes. And as I was leaving this screenshot, I knew I had to come back to it. This really pisses me off. Why is it historic? Why is anything about this so-called mission historic? It's hard to talk about something as if it's real one sentence and then cake in the next. You try it sometime. But why is it historic? So let's say Charles Lindbergh in the 20s, we did the Spirit of St. Louis, and he flew over to England. Okay, great. Now, okay, nobody went anywhere for 50 years, so it would be about 1970-something, Boeing built this, it's called a 707. And Boeing in a 707, 50 years after Lindbergh, we've been taking just Titanic-type ships back and forth. In the 70s, a 707 landed at what was now Heathrow. Is that historic? How is that historic? How is that historic? Doing something 50 years later, it's not historic. Is it? I'm here. You can't hear this, but I'm taking the bottle, the top off this Pepsi can. You can't hear this. I just took a sip of Pepsi. Here. I just took a sip of Pepsi. That's not historic. I just took a sip of Pepsi. I've done it before. It's not historic, you freaks. I typed, how many times was the word historic used regarding the Artemis missions? The word historic was used numerous times by NASA media outlets, skipping to the bottom. Based on recent news coverage of Artemis 2, the term was utilized dozens of times across different contexts, and then it starts citing them all. This is actually a good way, if you ever wanted to open up a conversation about this, folks, with the dumbest of the dumb, whether they exist inside your family, group of friends, or at the local diner. This is a good way in. You could say to someone, you're not leading with conspiracy. You're not leading with David Bowie Island or cake in a lake. You're saying, you know what, Joe, it's good to see you at the diner again. Just if you really went in with somebody, this is the way to do it. You'd say, all this talk of Artemis, and you've heard how many times they're saying certain aspects of this mission are historic, right? The flyby was historic. You've heard the word historic used multiple times regarding the Artemis missions, and he's got food in his mouth, and he's got eggs, and well, wait till your mouth is empty. I'm sorry. Yeah, you've heard it used many times, historic. Joe, why is it historic? I'll wait till all the food's out of your mouth. Why is it historic? Well, I heard. I don't know. That's not a good voice for Joe. Well, I heard. I heard it's the farthest the human being has ever been from Earth. They went farther than even Apollo 11. So let me get this straight. So they went a few miles farther out of 250,000 miles. You're really smart from Davenport. They went a few miles farther than they traveled almost 60 years ago. But that's historic. Anything else, Joe? I don't know what anybody would say. Joe, if the second successful flight across the Atlantic was in the mid-'70s completed by Boeing and nobody had done it since Charles Lindbergh, is that historic? Sports references, we could do this all day long. If a steroided up Barry Bonds hit 60 home runs and Roger Maris did it 45 years before him without steroids, is that historic? What are they talking about? As usual with this sort of topic, the funniest thing to think about would be, what would that family member that secretly listens to my videos and then reports to other family members what I'm talking about but never approaches me or tells me that they're listening to videos, what would they say to the other family members in terms of summarizing what I'm presenting here today? Of course, he'd say, well, Matt certainly doesn't believe in this Artemis thing. We know his type of people over there wouldn't believe in such a thing. Well, yeah, of course not. But here's the thing. You know the report about the broken toilet? And of course, it's completely real. Why would this government ever lie to the American people? They just can't comprehend that. Although it's documented that it's lied hundreds of thousands, if not millions of times. He thinks the broken toilet is some sort of weird symbolism. So according to Matt and his little group over there, nothing's happening, and then the report about the broken toilet is some sort of weird symbolism. Can you believe these conspiracy people? Where is their brain? Where is their mind? Is there anything we can do collectively as the family, as we've tried in the past, to get him committed? Oh, God, look at this right here. First images from flyby, caption at the bottom, April 6th, 2026. Captured by the Artemis crew during their lunar flyby, I guess with iPhones and iPads, on April 6, 2026, the image shows the moon fully eclipsing the sun. Oh, sure. From the crew's perspective, the moon appears large enough to completely block the sun, creating nearly 54 minutes of totality and extending the view far beyond what is possible from the Earth. Okay, yeah. Then it says corona. It has to say the corona forms a glowing corona. Let me get this straight. In the same mission, you got a picture of the moon perfectly eclipsing the sun. Not where the moon's like 20% of the sun. It's just kind of going across the way we see Mercury moves across the sun and Mercury retrograde. No, the moon is perfectly eclipsing the sun, so you get those halo effects. So you got this picture, which is probably 1 in billions. If things were really moving around different trajectories and everything's just moving in different directions, if you could run the statistics on it, which I can't do. I can barely do Terrence Howard's 1 × 1 = 2. It's 1 in billions probably to get this shot for 54 minutes. That's the 9. And then they also got a perfect eclipse image of the Earth eclipsing the sun, like two milled quarters that came off the same machine, not where the Earth is like 60% of the sun and perfect halo coming around the side. That in that image they call aurora. So you're from Davenport High, and you graduated with honors from Davenport High. So the chances of getting that eclipse picture with the Earth eclipsing the sun, that's 1 in billions, and this is 1 in billions. And what's that combined probability? I don't know. I can't even think that high. Is it 1 in trillions? This, not milk, is an insult to our intelligence.